Relax. It's just sports, and there's only one man in the AFC North who can relax. That's Bengals head coach Zac Taylor. He's the only remaining AFC North head coach. All three either have been, by three meaning the Browns head coach, Kevin Stefanski, the Ravens former head coach, John Harbaugh, and now the Pittsburgh Steelers, the most tenured head coach on one team in the NFL, Mike Tomlin, is stepping down. We got a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk football. We're going to talk about Duke Tobin and his, it seems like a year ago now, but his big press conference that everyone was waiting on. Jamar Chase playing with Burt Peanuts, playoffs a little bit, college football, college hoops, men's and women's, lots of fun stuff to talk about there. Baseball, actual tea in baseball, since you do the news, and then we say goodbye. But first, make sure you like, subscribe, comment, interact, all the things, YouTube, Apple, Spotify. Did I get it all?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, let's go back in time. It's August, and we look at all of the head coaches in the AFC North. I believe all of them, besides Zac Taylor, have won Coach of the Year.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's true.
I'm
going to say it with confidence. I know Kevin Stefanski won it twice, so obviously John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin had to have won it.
Mm-hmm.
So if I were to tell you, while you look that up, that back in August, out of the 4 head coaches in the AFC North, 3 of whom have won Coach of the Year, that the last one standing would be the one that didn't, what would you say?
I would say, was that the right decision?
Words. So yeah, Mike Tomlin gone from Pittsburgh.
Mike Tomlin, the only one who did not win.
Mike Tomlin didn't win Coach of the Year.
Yeah.
That's probably why he was fired.
Harbaugh has won. Stefanski has won twice. No Mike Tomlin on the list. Marvin Lewis on the list, though.
Marvin Lewis well, I feel like a lot of times that award just goes to the coach that's team's supposed to suck, and then they were good.
Yeah.
Which is why Kevin Stefanski with the Browns was able to win it twice, and the Steelers are always supposed to be good.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin's obviously a fantastic head coach. I loved the in-season Hard Knocks last year.
He was
honestly
great.
Because of the Steelers stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals stuff was the viral stuff, obviously, with Batmobile, like all the fossils, whatever.
Of course, yeah.
But the actual stuff, and also I'm biased because I know what goes on in the Bengals locker room, a lot of it.
So you're like,
this is like whatever.
Yeah.
Like I know what, they have some shots that I don't get to see, like the Batmobile and the fossils and whatever. But the Steelers stuff is what fascinated me. Anyway, wow. We're reacting like this because we just heard about it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is like breaking news to us,
Yes.
not breaking to you, lukewarm to you, but it's okay.
So that's just crazy. And like we said, Zac Taylor safe. Director of Player Personnel, Duke Tobin, safe. On Friday, so at the time, this is like 5 days ago when this comes out,
Mm-hmm.
Duke Tobin, who we normally hear from him 3 times a year. We hear from Duke at the NFL Combine. We hear from Duke at the NFL Draft after picks. And we hear from Duke at the Bengals Welcome Back Media Annual Luncheon, which is the day before training camp starts.
Which is also when you hear from Mike Brown.
Which is the only time we hear from Bengals president, owner, call him whatever you want, 90-year-old Mike Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Duke addressed the media Friday for over an hour. People, I feel like it was very controversial there.
Yeah.
Wide-ranging their thoughts on it.
Yeah, I want to know just straight off, because I know you were not our reporter there because that was your off day, but you obviously watched it. Did you think that he did a good job? Were you like, wow, he answered all the questions, he made it clear? What was your POV?
Duke was Duke. Like, I wouldn't say Duke's my best friend, but I know him.
Yeah.
And I've been in all the... This was actually the first time Duke has spoken in the last 4 years that I was not literally present. I watched the whole thing live. I just couldn't physically go at that time. And we were covered there. He answered questions, I thought. Like, it might not be the answer people want. Like, what do you think he was going to do? Say, yeah, we're going to go and try to get Max Crosby this offseason? Like, what do you think he was going to say?
I think, so here's my thought. I think what people were frustrated with wasn't always what he said, it was how he said it.
That's who he is.
Yeah, which very clearly was just how he is. But I think a lot of the things that he said where he was like, well, when we went to the Super Bowl, everybody was happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, yeah, Duke, let's skip over that line. Like, we all know that fact. Like, move on. And he wasn't really able to move on. I thought it was really interesting. He got asked, basically, are you wasting Joe Burrow's playoff?
And his answer was, it's the Bengals.
Yeah, and he said, it's the Bengals. It's Mike Brown, and it's me, and it's, Zac Taylor, and it's everyone. And it just sounds rude, the way he spoke.
He has that kind of inflection, and like he is like sometimes praised for that, sometimes knocked for it. Like if you remember at the Combine last year or the year before when they were talking about T. Higgins' contract, and he goes, we have our wide receivers. We like our wide receivers. Go find your own. Bengals fans liked it when he did it like that, but when he's talking about his own team.
Because he's talking to someone else. He's not talking to you.
That's just who he is.
Yeah.
And I thought there was I apologize to the fellow person on the Bengals beat who put this out there because I'm forgetting which one it was. But one of the people on the beat put out there to the fans, this isn't like a trial, or like no one's on trial here. We're not trying to execute anybody. Mm-hmm. We're trying to just get questions answered. Mm-hmm. So when people were like, reporters weren't hard enough on Duke, I thought everything under the sun was asked.
Sorry, I would definitely disagree with that. I think the first question he answered was, why do you deserve the job?
Right, that's what I'm saying.
It's like a pretty aggressive.
100%.
Wait, a fair question. Like it's a fair question.
I thought everything that should be asked was asked.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing more I would have put out there. There's nothing less. Like he answered it. Like maybe he like didn't know how to answer some of them, and like, but I thought like the scouting department questions he answered.
He did, and I do think a lot of people just don't like those answers.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to like the answers. The Bengals he's still the guy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you like him or not. He's at least answering them.
Yeah.
So he said he did this for the fans. Like the fans had questions, the fans wanted answers, the fans deserved answer. I actually, although I don't think he was portrayed in the best way. Mm-hmm. I was a big fan of the way Duke sat up there for over an hour and answered everything.
I think for me, I agree. I was happy he did it. I also agree, like, he's keeping the job. Like, it doesn't matter what he says or doesn't say. Mm-hmm. I will say, though, that I kind of felt like he lacked the ability to look inward. Like, just in his actual answers, where he would be like, yeah, I mean, it was on me, but like somebody asked about, you haven't made great picks, which you've talked about at length. Your picks haven't been great. And he was like, I think we've made great picks. And it's like when someone says that to you and you know that that's just like simply not true, what are you supposed to do with that information?
Well, that's the thing, that's just an objective two things that people don't agree on.
That's what I'm saying. So I think a lot of the stuff that I heard him say was just stuff that I was like, well, quite literally, like numbers-wise, no, you didn't.
Outside of the 2023 draft class, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, no. But also, if you think back, he's been in this position for like
1999.
Yeah, so like, sure. Yeah, he's made some good picks since then.
Yeah.
Carson Palmer, Chad Johnson.
Although he was specifically talking about the last couple of years.
I know,
yeah.
but still.
But I just thought it was really interesting because I was like, it's almost like when someone's like, what do you do when you're in an argument with someone and they say that the sky is like orange
the sky is orange,
it's not. And you're just like, well, what am I supposed to do? I can't argue.
It's honestly
with you.
A sick diffusing. Like, it's honestly like, I think I learned a thing or two from him. When someone says, hey, why are you so bad at your job? No, I'm really good at my job. Oh, well, okay.
He said, I'm really good at my job. Sometimes we make mistakes.
This is why if you ever have to do a self-evaluation at work, you give yourself 110% on everything.
Couldn't agree more.
Literally, what are the things that you need to work on? I wish I didn't care as much as I do.
Yeah.
I wish there would, like
I'm
how can you improve?
I work on so many things. I need to slow down and work on less things.
I know. I literally need to stop working at points. That's what he did. He self-evaluated. I mean, at one point, he said, I think something like, I know I sound crazy, when he's like, yeah, I know we were 6-11, but I think we have a championship team in there. And that's exactly that. I will say he did address that the offense, and I agree with this, the offense can compete with anyone, and every team is afraid of the Bengals offense.
I don't think anybody debates that.
And he said the Bengals defense does not have the talent. He said that. He's like, we need to figure that out. And he also said, and I've been harping on this since training camp, they need leaders on the defensive side of the ball for someone has to step up. Because if you look at the captains from the beginning of the season, I know I've talked about this before.
Yes.
The defensive captains this year, Trey Hendrickson, B.J. Hill, and Logan Wilson. Logan Wilson plays for the Cowboys. Trey Hendrickson is soon to be on another team, requested a trade before he was voted a captain, and B.J. Hill is a great captain.
Not the
What?
best showing. Yeah.
Not great.
Yeah.
2 of your 3 captains requested trades. 1 was granted.
Yeah.
And Logan Wilson did go on to Dallas and then proceed to get benched by Dallas.
Yeah. Some would say maybe benching Logan Wilson wasn't the bad decision that the Bengals did. That was not the problem. It was more so making him a captain and not having anybody
Which
else.
the captains are purely a team player vote and like strict.
But the problem is that
that's who the guys looked up to.
the problem is Logan Wilson was here 500 years, not really. Trey Hendrickson was actually incredibly good.
Yeah.
B.J. Hill's also been here for a pretty long time. So I think they were just like, yes.
Well, B.J. Hill's deserving, for sure. My thing, though, it's like, for example, at the end of the year, Al Golden talked about how, because Geno Stone got a lot of hate, that this defense wouldn't be this defense without Geno Stone. Made him a captain. I don't know.
I guess the players didn't want to at the time, but maybe they will.
Maybe things will change next year, whatever. But yes, the defense has to get better. And he's like, we did like the improvement we saw. I think he specifically talked about DJ Turner and Dax Hill. Like, yeah, those guys came around, but I did like that he addressed the defense needs to be better.
He also, I thought, something that was really interesting because I really do think in the delusion that he was kind of carrying that he thinks that this team could have made the Super Bowl. And he was like, well, what really happened is, we had all of these problems. I wrote it down, critical moment execution errors.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, well, I mean, I wouldn't say like some of them were, but some of them weren't just critical moment execution errors.
Yeah. Well, but the thing is, like, if everything broke the Bengals' way, that if they went for 9-8, they would have made it.
Sure, yeah.
So, like, the Jets game, the Bears game, like, but again, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because, like,
I just thought that was his main point. He repeated it 3 to 4
but
times over the press
I agree with
conference.
him because if you look at teams, like the margin of error in the NFL, which I know, blah, 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 I've heard this before, but the Chiefs made the Super Bowl last year. Like, the Chiefs Super Bowl team was way more like the Chiefs this year than they were from the Super Bowl winning teams.
100%.
They were winning games by 5 or less points every week. I want to see if his back is bruised, though, from the amount of times he patted himself on the back for trading for Joe Flacco.
Oh my God, yeah.
I don't hide it. I love Joe Flacco.
He clearly loves Joe Flacco.
He loves him more than me. Like, it was like, wow, you made one good in-season trade, and that is why your job should be safe.
And also,
And Joe Flacco won one game.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. And also, like, Joe Flacco was a net positive for vibes, but I'm not sure that he was like that positive for the
Well,
game
they didn't.
purpose.
Well, the thing is, those one play, you beat the Jets, you beat the Bears. All of a sudden, Joe Flacco looks like the best in-season trade the Bengals have ever had.
Yeah, but
So,
unfortunately, that's not.
But unfortunately, ifs and buts. Oh, and he was injured and he couldn't throw the ball.
Well, and I also thought to myself when he was patting himself on the back for Joe Flacco, you could have done that earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
You didn't have the wherewithal to realize that Jake Browning couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what I got out of that more than anything is sympathy for Zac Taylor. Because, like, this entire season and every season, Zac gets all the bullets for stuff that, like, decisions he's clearly not making.
I think that's true, but I actually think the Bengals fans are pretty even in their.
This is the first year Duke's been called out like this.
I was about to say, but like I think I've heard him get called out for
not
the
like
past,
not
2-3
like
years.
this year.
But this
Not
year was
like
worse.
This year.
But I think the problem was with previous seasons was that the defense wasn't nearly this bad.
Oh, correct.
And
This is historic.
And Joe Burrow, for the most part, played the majority of the seasons, not all of them.
Every other year.
Yeah, basically. But in those seasons when Joe Burrow did still play the majority of the season and the defense was not as bad as it was, some fans were angry about the in-game decisions, like how they would run the ball, how they would, that kind of stuff, that is Zac Taylor's fault. That's not a Duke Tobin thing. This year, though, I think with how bad the defense was, it's impossible to not blame Duke.
Yeah. So I think it's a 1-year trial right now.
I actually think so too. I came away from that being like, I think that Mike Brown, for whatever everybody wants to say about Mike Brown, of which you can say a lot, actually is like, I'm willing to cut both of you loose next year.
Make the playoffs next year or you're out.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Which should be good news for Bengals fans.
I think everything that's happened in the last week or so is all net positives for the Bengals.
Yeah, including Jamar Chase.
Well, I was going to say, some people may say this is good, some people say he's not. So Jamar didn't go straight to Cancun. He was first spotted on TikTok with Joe Burrow and Orlando Brown Jr. playing craps in Las Vegas, as is their right. They're adults. They're over the age of 21.
Yeah, fun.
But Jamar's been playing a lot of video games. And
Which, you know what? I want my wide receiver to be playing video games.
I'm cool with it. I don't care that he's been playing video. But he's been, it's not like he's streaming a lot.
Yeah.
Which is what he always streams. He streams a lot. So he offered one fan on his live stream season ticket to the Bengals if, what is it, you goop me? Or it's like give them money.
They revive him.
Revive him.
Yeah, so they were playing a game. He like basically dies. He was like, please, if somebody comes and saves me, I will give you season tickets to the Bengals. I'll do anything.
Yeah.
Please come help me.
Which was funny.
Which is hilarious.
But then this is what happened. At this point, I think it was on Monday night. Mm-hmm. So I'm chronically online. You're chronically online. What do you know about Mr. Peanut? Or Burnt Peanut?
The Burnt Peanut.
The Burnt Peanut.
The Burnt Peanut is a Twitch streamer who has like over 1 million followers.
So for people who don't even know what Twitch streaming is, Twitch streaming it's a platform, but essentially you can follow someone playing video games in live time.
Yeah.
And you can use an avatar. And this person's avatar is a burnt peanut.
Yeah, and you don't even have to play video games.
No, you can do anything.
You can do
but
whatever
just
you want.
In this case, they're playing video games.
Yeah, and the Burnt Peanut will interview people, talk to people, like sometimes like famous people, and Jamar Chase was one of them.
And Burnt Peanut, shocking, knows nothing about football. And that's a self-admission. I will never call a man out for not knowing ball.
Yeah. But Burnt Peanut's busy.
Burnt Peanut's he's busy cracking shells.
Yeah.
So Burnt Peanut had Jamar Chase on and said, I don't really know nothing about football. Mm-hmm. What team do you play for? And Jamar says the Bengals, the Cincinnati Bengals. And then Burnt Peanut follows up, good journalist, follows up and says, are you guys any good? And Jamar Chase says, no, not this year.
He said, no, not this year.
And then there was another voice in the chat who was like, oh, no, he's like the best. I swear, my brother even says it. That's how you know. And Jamar Chase was like, some people say that. And like I said, chronically online, I think I'm pretty with it with everything going on. I had to get an explainer on this. But I think I just nailed it.
No, you did an amazing job.
Yeah.
I just love...
Burnt Peanut's coming for our job. Besides he makes way more than us, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he makes like millions and millions. The interview was crazy.
It was amazing because
I couldn't believe I was watching this.
Yeah, no, it was sick. I do want to say, wide receivers, NFL players, they get a lot of flack for stuff. As long as Jamar Chase isn't speeding at a high rate in his car, doing something evil, I could not support him more. Like, if he wants to become a Twitch streamer, I'll tune in. I'll subscribe.
The only mistake he's made is spitting on another player recently.
Literally, that's his only mistake. Otherwise, I'm absolutely having the time of my life watching Jamar.
Yeah, he's...
And I think T streams too.
T streams, yeah.
Yeah. But T streaming and like talking about
jellyfish,
like doing a whole different
He's
thing.
doing like Christmas dances. Yeah. T's wholesome. I haven't played. I mean, I love 2K and Madden and the show. But I haven't played in. I played at my first job in Odessa, Texas a lot because there wasn't really much else to do.
In Odessa.
So I would play in Odessa, but I haven't turned my PlayStation on since. I do love like a good barcade though. Mm-hmm. Like where you could be playing retro, Pac-Man, whatever, or like there was the one here in OTR that used to have GameCube and N64 games.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I would play Mario Party and Smash Bros. But besides that, I try. I really try. So don't tell me I don't listen.
You know,
I'm out here grinding.
Watch the Burnt Peanut, live your life.
Yeah. When I saw that this morning, I was like, what am I watching? But I can only imagine when those people were like, what is this ruckus? And it's rock and roll music. So I'm just grabbing on with two horns, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be in on it.
Exactly. That's how you have to be.
Okay. Well, let's go to college football.
Wait, do you not want to talk about the playoffs?
Oh, I do want to talk about the playoffs.
Yeah.
How about Mike Tomlin, who just left this team.
R.I.P.
Mike Tomlin now has lost 7 consecutive games as a head coach, and the reason
7 consecutive
playoff games as a head coach, and that ties Marvin Lewis for the all-time lead in consecutive playoff losses.
Marvin.
And both of them were no longer with their teams anymore.
The difference
Steelers
is
look bad.
I think that Mike Tomlin can get another job.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin can get another job.
I don't think Marvin
Well,
did.
pause. I heard a lot of people want Marvin Lewis to come to the Bengals as an advisor for talent evaluation or something like that.
Who said that?
A lot of people have been
Wow.
saying that. Yeah.
This is news to me.
Because he apparently was good at evaluating talent and did it. Like, there's too many nice guys in the locker room, and Marvin knew how to pick some not nice guys.
Well, yeah.
I.e.
We
names.
we don't need
names, because
Yeah.
I don't need them attacking me. So, yes.
Congrats to Mike Tomlin for losing and tying Marvin.
And they looked bad against Houston.
Shocker
The only
for
teams that looked
Houston.
bad were Pittsburgh, and the Chargers looked bad against the Patriots.
I think the difference between the Steelers and the Chargers is that I expected the Steelers to look bad due to the Texans defense being like the
But
best
also being
defense.
in Pittsburgh, like Monday.
Oh,
Mike Tomlin on Monday
please.
night. Mike Tomlin
Yeah, I
on
know.
Monday Night Football.
Yeah, no, I knew that was going to be bad. I was a little shocked by how boring of a game the Patriots-Chargers game was. But
Yeah, poor Joe. I know a lot of people in Cincinnati don't like Justin Herbert because of all the comparisons of that draft class.
yeah.
But like,
I like Herbert.
the guy can't catch a break. Like, people like, he can't win a playoff game. You think the Bengals offensive line is bad?
No, the Bengals offensive line is so much better than the Chargers.
The Chargers offensive line, they essentially have like some people say Swiss cheese. I think it's like 5 polio sticks just standing
even.
there. They don't even connect.
Yeah,
Chargers
it's rough
all
for
line
them.
is bad. What else we got around the playoffs? The Bills Jaguars game was awesome.
Awesome.
I think it's the Bills AFC to take. I think
100%.
like they're favored in Denver to go up against the Broncos, which had a bye. The Broncos, by the way, remind me of last year's Chiefs. I'm not a Broncos believer. Where else in the AFC? We also had. Am I missing any AFC games?
I go in order of day, so to me it's
so
Rams Panthers is the first.
Rams
game.
Panthers was awesome. I had a buddy who's a huge Panthers fan who was there, and he was like, "I've been a Panthers fan my whole life." He drove from DC to Charlotte to go to the game, and he goes, "I'm so upset that was the best environment I've ever been in."
You know, so many people hate on the Panthers, but it's when the Panthers are like even decent enough to barely make the playoffs, it's so fun.
I think Canales should be the coach of the year because I think
That's a great take. I wonder who the coach of the year odds are.
I think Dave Canales is like what he did with like nothing there, and
Yeah.
and how much flack he's gotten. Especially ever since he came out with that book. What's the book about cheating on his wife or something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And like apologizing for it.
Disgusting. Outside of that is the Bears-Packers game, which was also great.
Bears-Packers was awesome. What an electric comeback. A lot of Caleb Williams in my feed.
There's going to be a lot of Caleb Williams in your feed.
I know.
I just
What do you think on the Ben Johnson sitch after the game? Him running past and like barely shaking LaFleur's hand and then saying how much he hates the Packers and cursing them off afterwards. I kind of was like, cool. I don't care.
if you don't have anything nice to say about someone, you're not supposed to say anything.
But he said it in the locker.
No, I mean me talking about Ben Johnson.
Oh, well, that's just because he was a Lion.
Yeah, but I do think like I understand. Yes, I don't like Ben Johnson because he left the Lions to go to literally another NFC North team, which is like disrespectful and rude to me personally. But outside of that, I think he is kind of weird because when he got the job, the first thing he said was like,
I like beating Matt LaFleur twice
I like
a year.
beating Matt LaFleur. And Matt LaFleur was like, who are you? Like, you're not the head coach,
the
though.
guy who beat him twice this year and eliminated him for the playoffs.
Sure, but I was like, I thought it was so weird that you start off by just like, this, coaches are so, I really like this guy as a person. He's a cool guy. Like, they're never attacking an individual. He could have easily said, I like beating the Packers twice a year, but he like literally called out Matt LaFleur. And then during their first game of the season, Matt LaFleur kind of was like, and kind of like didn't care to handshake him, and he got mad about it. And I was
Yeah.
like, you're actually not legally allowed to get mad if the person that you were just attacking didn't want to shake your hand for real.
I kind of think he's good for football.
He's good for football, but like,
Would
he
you rather
is
Dan
an enemy.
Campbell or Ben Johnson as your head coach?
That's a good question.
That's why I asked it.
That's a really good question. I think I would rather have Dan Campbell as my head coach. I want Ben Johnson as the offensive coordinator always. I'd rather have Dan Campbell as the head coach.
He'll never be an OC again.
No. But like in my brain, I love Dan Campbell, and I think that he like really pays attention to the right things. He's also like a huge motivator too.
Yeah,
and he's also not a villain, because I think what's
I like
happen,
Dan Campbell. But like if you have to pick one.
Yeah, I still pick Dan Campbell, and I'm hoping that Dan Campbell can get another OC that's going to be like the next wonderkin, and we can keep doing that. But what I was going to say is I think the problem with Ben Johnson, if you're familiar with the meme, do you know you have 20 minutes? Like, he is 2 seasons away from everyone hating that man. Like, that becomes the villainous team because he's just so
You know who else was the
outrageous.
villain? Who else was the villain?
Who?
Bill Belichick and the Patriots.
But they were a villain in sport only, really. I mean, like, they were a villain for like cheating and doing other things.
And Bill was dismissive of everyone, everything.
But he's dismissive. That's a different vibe, though. He's dismissive of everyone all the time. Like, it's everywhere all at once.
Except when he's on like the Manning cast.
Sure, yeah. Except for when like Jordan is telling him what to do. But like, he's always dismissive, so it's a different vibe. Like, a curmudgeon-y coach is one thing, but a guy who's like coming out and is like, you know what? I hate Sean McVay. Like, he's just yelling about
He's like Rex
stuff.
Ryan.
And people did not like Rex Ryan.
But he was great for football.
But I think that's the thing. He's going to be really great, but I'm giving the Chicago Bears like one season before everybody hates their guts.
Could be. Right now, there's Cinderella East.
They're
so
like
people
little Cinderellas. But
yeah.
I think literally they have. It's the same with the Lions, though. The Lions did that. Everyone was obsessed with them.
And
the
now
year that
they're
they were
annoyed,
good.
yeah.
And then people got annoyed when they were too good.
Well, I think that's why people are so cool with the Commanders, because they sucked again.
Yeah.
So,
but I do think like the way that Ben Johnson like acts and the way he talks is just not. You have 30 minutes before your time is up here, and people hate you. Outside of that, the Niners beat the Eagles. Was that interesting to you?
It was interesting to me. Biggest takeaway from that game, besides like the Niners had like nobody left and they still found a way to win, and the George Kittle tequila bottle in the locker room
crazy, yeah.
tears his Achilles, and they found out like a staffer was like delivering him a bottle of tequila in the locker room. Eagles are cooked. I have so many stories about the Eagles that I've heard from like very reliable sources about the issues there, about like Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. Like, Jalen Hurts, from what I've heard, they will call the play, and Jalen Hurts is like, nah.
I heard it's not Nick Sirianni. I heard it's the OC.
KP.
He hates that OC.
Well, Nick and the OC are like this.
So that's
it's 1-1, and apparently, my favorite thing from the game is, because I didn't think the Eagles were good enough to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, they weren't the same Eagles as last year.
No.
The kid, that interview, did you see that? One of the local stations in Philadelphia.
Oh, yes, yeah. I thought that you were talking about like a kid on the team.
No, I love that kid.
Yeah.
He's like,
I mean,
A.J. Brown should be flipping burgers at the local McDonald's because one side he's cooked, the other side he's raw. I'm like, oh my God.
I will say, though, there was a part
Philly
of me.
fans rock.
There was part of me that watched it and went, is A.J. Brown trying to lose this game for them? Like, it got so
him and
out of...
Sirianni started yelling at each other.
It got so out of hand that I was like, I really think A.J. Brown is trying... I think A.J. Brown's goal this season... I know people are like, are A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts beefing? I think A.J. Brown was like, I will get Nick Sirianni and the OC fired if it's the last thing I do. Because if you saw after the game, they asked Jalen, like, what do you think about A.J. Brown? And he was like, we're good. We're in a great place. And they were like, what do you think about the OC? He said, I don't know what's going to happen. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
Vibes are bad.
Vibes are bad in Philly. But, like, I'll tell you one thing. Marlboro High School alum, my high school, Howie Rosen, Howie's going to figure it out.
I agree.
Howie is the best general manager in football, maybe in all of sports.
So you think it's going to be Bills and who? Seahawks?
Rams.
Rams? Okay.
So, yeah, I'm excited. I think it'll be really good games this week. I think it's a shame because the only 2 bad games were the last 2. Every other game was like down to the wire. No team that had a lead with less than 2 minutes left won the game.
Mm-hmm. Although I will say the Sunday night game was still like
Patriots, Chargers.
Close in the beginning, but just a bad
Yeah,
vibe.
it was like 6-3 at the half
it was like
whatever.
6-3, 6-6.
Which, like,
crazy.
Chargers going to New England, like any LA team going to Boston or Miami going to Seattle, like
it's always going to be.
It's going to be tough,
rough,
yeah.
Do you want to talk about the national championship?
Yeah, let's do that. Hoosiers, Kurt Cignetti. I saw a stat out there that he has officially now this year Googled more than Nick Saban, which is very funny.
I wonder if Nick's like really upset about that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Nick is like the kind of guy who would be upset about that. I know I couldn't tell if you were joking or not, but
No,
yes,
I'm
I do
joking.
think he'd be upset about that. Indiana, I know we got a lot of IU fans in the area, a lot of IU alum. People are not talking. I think it's getting to the point where people are not. I've heard so many times that not enough people are talking about how this is the greatest turnaround in sports, to the point where now too many people are talking about how it's the greatest turnaround in sports. In 2 years, they went from the worst college football program in like history to now back-to-back college football playoff appearances, now going to the national championship, all because of Kurt Cignetti.
Can I add another person that's also the reason that they're doing this? Mark Cuban.
But Mark Cuban, did you hear in an interview what he said?
I did.
So Mark Cuban, who is an alumni of the Indiana Kelley School of Business, started giving more money to the football program because now he said it's been proven that they have someone who knows how to construct a roster. And remember, Mark Cuban knows sports. He used to own the Dallas Mavericks. Mm-hmm. So he's like, I'm not just going to give my money to someone.
But I think he started giving them money as early as when Cignetti got hired.
Right, but now he's
upping
it every year.
Yeah, so he said that he gave a bunch of money, and then when they did well, he cut a bigger check, and he's just going to keep cutting a bigger check. So Mark Cuban and Kurt Cignetti, that's all you need.
Yeah, and they got a Heisman winner there now. Like,
yeah, who's the richest UC alum?
I mean, I'm sure there's some crazy rich
I know,
ones.
but I'm like, who is it? They need to find them.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go straight to them and go, who do you want to be hired? We will hire them. Do whatever you want.
It's not going to happen. And that's the Big Ten, they have such good business schools that they have some business alum.
Oh, I thought he went there for grad school.
Maybe both.
Because that's what I thought was crazy. I was like,
I
don't even
think
know that
he
Mark
went
Cuban
to
did.
IU undergrad. I'm almost positive.
He went to the University of Pittsburgh and then transferred to IU.
So he still did undergrad there.
So he still finished his Bachelor of Science.
Oh man,
at IU.
Pitt, you really missed out. Y'all missed out. The Panthers could be hanging banners right now.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So Indiana, they're taking on Miami, Miami. We'll talk about the other Miami later in the show. The U had an incredible game against Ole Miss. Mm-hmm. Carson back, hard to root for.
One of the hardest people I've ever seen to root for. Yeah.
I will say my favorite part of the Miami Ole Miss game is when they would, either on social media or on the TV broadcast, cut to Michael Irvin and Ray Lewis just speaking a different language to each other. That wasn't English. Mm-hmm. They were just yelling at each other in something, but they fully understood each other.
Thinking about Michael Irvin having his own camera crew follow him around in addition to like the ESPN camera crews.
Well, it's like Matthew McConaughey gets that at Texas, and we don't talk about that.
Yeah, but Matthew McConaughey, like, I assume he has people who can carry around the cameras. I didn't think Michael Irvin wanted to document all of it for himself, but he does.
I wonder what was first, Haim or Prime? Deion Sanders doing that.
Oh, it's got to be Deion.
It's got to be Deion.
Yeah.
Because they're cut from the same cloth. Well, different. Michael Irvin has had his fun with substances. Deion Sanders is pretty straight-laced.
Yeah. Well, and Michael Irvin, of course, does have like that terrible story about his wife.
Yeah,
and he's taking care of her. So everyone keeps posting on Twitter like, let him have his fun. Like,
he's taking his belt off and aggressively whipping a Gatorade cooler, which is, I'm going to say it, objectively hysterical.
Yeah, no, it's insane. I think actually you say so many people are talking about how IU turned everything around. I have only heard for the last week people talking about Miami because everyone's just
because people
waiting.
didn't think Miami should be in the playoffs.
Well, everyone's just waiting for Miami to be good again.
Yeah.
And so now that they are, they're like, we can finally talk about how great Miami is.
I saw it was actually circulating today. It was a clip. it might have been from Part of My Take. I forgot what podcast it was, but Greg Olson was the guest. And Greg Olson went to the U. And he was talking about how the 2000 to 2001 Miami team was the greatest college football team of all time because they had 3 Pro Bowlers on that team that were on special teams because they weren't good enough to play.
Oh, it wasn't, and no, I might be wrong. I always think about how Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was on.
That was in the 90s.
He was in the 90s, but what I was going to say was he did not actually do anything for them.
No, he was a backup DN.
And he's like one of the most famous people of all time.
Yeah.
It's like every time you look at a Miami group, you're like, the backup of the backup of the backup, the red shirt senior is like this huge player.
Who was it? Warren Sapp?
Warren Sapp's on that team too.
Warren Sapp was the starter, like who came in behind The Rock. But The Rock thought it was like his year. Then Warren Sapp showed up to the weight room before him at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man.
He said, "I'm getting beat out, aren't I?"
Yeah, I'm gonna go wrestle. Well, he did okay.
I think he's just.
I mean, he's gonna be our future president one day.
God.
Could happen. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Real quick, UC.
Yeah.
The Athletics reported that Brendan Sorsby, who's now playing for Texas Tech, has to pay $1 million, which is great for the Bearcats because they famously gave away a win this year for like $4 or $5 million when they moved the game against Nebraska to start the year from Indianapolis to Kansas City, making it essentially a Nebraska home game. And that cost them out on a bigger bowl for sure if they won that game.
So they're getting more money back.
So that's good for them. J.C. French, he is likely the new starting, or at least he's coming in as the number one likely guy to be the starter. But Georgia Southern was solid there.
Mobile quarterback, kind of like Sorsby.
Which is what Satterfield likes. So we'll see with him. New defensive coordinator because Tyson Veit, the former defensive coordinator, is now at Penn State. And he was with Satterfield at Appalachian State, and he was most recently with Army and did a good job with Army.
Nate Woody,
excuse me, yeah. So we'll see what happens there. I also, the Bearcats did get a second quarterback from Penn.
I did see that.
Who I think, yes, J.C. French is going to be the guy, but I think we low-key might have a small quarterback competition, which would be fun. Okay. Because I think the kid from Penn's pretty good. I'm blanking on his name, though. But, hey, make me learn your name. I'm kidding. I will learn your name as soon as we get off this.
I actually have to learn your name, so.
Let's talk about UC Hoops.
Okay, so I kind of want to set it up for you because I know that you do a show with them every week. I'm scrolling online, and I'm seeing people furious at Wes Miller for talking to Dan Horde and being a little exaggerated about how it's us against the world. Nobody wants us. You stay on your other side. Don't talk to me
Talking
about
to
this.
Dan Horde because Dan hosts the radio post-game show.
Yeah, it really had nothing to do with Dan Horde. Dan Horde was just...
You got 3 words out.
He was like an innocent victim in this situation. He was like, hey, man, feel for your team. It's not about that, Dan. And he just kind of goes into his us against the world type rant. Then, unfortunately, they lose again. They keep losing. That's kind of the bit with them.
Yeah, and they're losing all their games in heartbreaking
So
fashion
close.
down the end.
It's
they lost on an in-and-out shot against UCF on Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's so bad. People are mad at Wes Miller. They're annoyed that they keep losing in close games, which I totally understand. And now I'm seeing on social that they're going to start wearing bags.
Yeah, bags on the head, it seems like, are coming.
And what do you think of that overall?
Well, for the last year and a half, every time Wes Miller's name is said, the whole Fifth Third Arena boos. I don't think it's a good move, to be honest. They know you're not happy.
Yeah.
UC knows the fans are not happy. I just think the bags, I know it's so different now because NIL changes these athletes.
You think, I feel like people are starting to think of them as not students.
Yeah,
but
don't do that to your classmates. And listen, I know most of them aren't even going to class. They're taking the classes online and they're barely on campus. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they're getting paid so much money. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Maybe it's maybe I'm in a transition time that I need to change how I think about this. But don't do that to your classmates. I don't care if you do it to the coaching staff. These kids are still kids. They're forced to grow up a lot faster now.
Yeah.
But I don't like it.
To me, I think it's interesting because, and this is just my opinion, Wes Miller's probably getting fired.
If they don't make the tournament, yeah.
So what point are you making? Like with the Bengals fans, and they're trying to express how much they hate Zac Taylor or Duke
The Reds did it a few years ago.
The Reds have done this as well. I think they're actually outwardly trying to make a point to the people that they need to hear. The people at UC know. They all know. That's why Wes Miller did his whole rant about us against the world. They all know what's happening. So you doing it is only just going to make the team feel like, why am I even trying?
Yeah, and listen, and Wes has had every opportunity. They're like, what is this, year 5 for him?
Yeah.
And like the year 1 I get, switching to the Big 12 I get, but he's been here now and he's been having the players. So it's not too late to turn it all around, but no more, we should have won those games because that's how you don't make the tournament. On the flip side, before we get to X, the Miami Redhawks.
The undefeated Miami Redhawks.
Undefeated as of the time of this taping. They play again tonight. I think they'll win. The Miami Redhawks, 17-0, potentially 18-0 or 17-1 by the time of this recording, they put out a statement on social media advertising that there's another great basketball team just 45 minutes up the road, and if you show that you have season tickets to another team in Southwest Ohio, then you get into the game for $10 to watch really good basketball. They trolled UC hard.
Yes, they did.
And, hell yeah, go Mac.
And you're saying all that. You're not saying the part that's really crazy, which is they said no paper bags needed over here.
Yes. Yeah.
So they know what they're doing.
They do know what they're doing.
Now, Xavier's not doing that, probably due to the fact that Xavier also sucks.
But Xavier is... Richard Pitino, I genuinely believe, is building something at Xavier. They just won against Providence, which was a good win for them.
Yeah, Providence is bad, but it is a good win for them.
Any Big East win for Xavier is a good win this year. And I love what Richard Pitino said. He goes, listen, we have not given fans at Cintas Center anything this year besides the UC game. And we wanted to give them good moments. He goes, this is going to take some time. When I came here, we literally had like all walk-ons and nothing. And what I did know we have is a home court advantage at the Cintas Center. So we want to make sure we're giving back to the fans this year. Like, Richard Pitino has basically all but said, this is a building year.
Yeah.
And I think any Big East win they get is above expectations.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not wearing paper bags on their head. I think if you're a sensible Xavier fan, you know this year is not about that. It's about, okay, let's give our new head coach a full season to recruit for next year.
My question for you is, if you're a Xavier fan, do you care / are you happy that UC and Texas kind of suck?
Texas because Sean Miller's the head coach there.
Or are you more worried about your own thing? Because I think about this a lot as a UK fan. Like, I wonder how many people are ecstatic to see UK being bad, or if they're like, it's fine, I've got my own problems to deal with. Like, as a UK fan, I'm not really worried when, like, U of L was really terrible.
Xavier and UC fans absolutely love when the other ones are bad.
Okay.
And Xavier fans, I think in the past, wouldn't have cared about what's going on in Texas, but because Sean Miller left them twice, they care.
Yeah.
So, yes, I do think they care.
I do think that's, like, the sign of losers, but...
Yeah, what team in Cincinnati has won anything in the last...
You're right. That's what I was going to say. It is a sign of loser, but I guess you are what you are. So
I'll never forget our former boss here said to me once, I know why the people of Cincinnati really like you. Because you're a Mets and Jets fan and you know how to lose too.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, kindred spirits. Quick UC women's hoops, who had a moment, because they have not had many moments over the last X amount of years, beat Iowa State, who now has lost 2 in a row. They just lost to West Virginia recently. But, oh my gosh, what's her name? Audie Crooks?
Yeah.
But what's the song? Da-da, you just got off the hook from Audie Crooks.
Yes.
The hype song, I love that. Yeah, they beat them. That was sick.
No, I think it was the only fun that a UC fan could have had in the past.
Especially for women's basketball.
Months,
any sport, I guess. Yeah. But no, that was electric because Iowa State, they have lost 2 in a row, and then Cincinnati just went on to lose to Texas Tech.
They lost their best player, or one of their best players, and then I think Audie Crooks has been exposed for not doing anything on defense. So, like, now you kind of know to work.
But she also leads the
she's
in
still
points per game.
Yeah.
And she's, like, so fun to watch.
Yeah. So, I think no matter what, crazy win. Great win.
Yeah, that was fun. Congrats to the UC Women's Hoops team.
I will talk about UK, not now, because, I still have to process how terrible we are, but I will talk about it.
We will talk UK probably more next week. The further we get away from football season, the more we'll have for basketball season. Baseball, a couple things to talk about. Red sign Pierce Johnson, veteran bullpen arm. My thoughts on bullpen arms. Location, like setting means a lot. Year to year, who knows? Like, he's a veteran. He was with the Braves for a while. He has NL Central experience. None of that actually means anything when it comes to me. Bullpen arms, that's why they're usually one-year contracts.
Yeah.
Like, there's exceptions, like Luke Weaver signed with the Mets a 2-year contract. Funny enough, former Red, Luke Weaver. But Luke Weaver stunk when he was with the Reds and stunk as a starter. And then, so relievers, unless you're like a staple closer or I guess now setup guys aren't really.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. Like, unless you're like a staple, you're year to year to me. I mean, even look at Alexis Diaz. Like, he was great and then terrible. Like, you just don't know with relievers. But like, I like that he's a veteran. It's kind of like, not that he's taking Brent Suter's role, but like Brent Suter coming as a veteran was good for the bullpen. That's kind of how I feel about bullpen signings. Ellie De La Cruz's birthday was on Monday, so let's talk about him for a little bit. Ellie De La Cruz, like, this kind of fell and swept under the rug. He committed to play in the World Baseball Classic, which is coming up in a couple months.
Posted a photo.
The Reds posted a photo that he was going to be playing for the Dominican Republic. And if you know Ellie, you know, like, he has so much pride for the Dominican. Well, then the posts got deleted and no one talked about it and what's going on. He wasn't on the list on MLB.com. So there's a couple things that were going around. And in a interview in Spanish with Nelson Cruz, like the hitter, Nelson Cruz, the DH. He's the general manager for the World Baseball Classic Dominican Republic team.
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Well, you know the manager is.
No.
Albert Pujols.
Oh.
Isn't that cool?
I hate him.
Well.
Yeah.
Right, I think Albert is. Now you're putting me on the spot, but I'm pretty sure he is. So Nelson Cruz gave this interview to, actually, funny enough, I guess the reporter's name is Jansen Pujols. And he said that Ellie couldn't play because he couldn't get insurance to approve the policy. And that's probably because, as Nick Kroll, the Reds president of baseball operations, revealed during winter meetings, Ellie played the second half of the year with like a partial tear in his hamstring. And so there was rumors saying that the Reds blocked it. And now, according to Nelson Cruz, that he gave in this interview, again in Spanish, this is my best Spanglish translation, was because he couldn't get the insurance approval because he had the partially torn hamstring.
You are correct. Pujols is the manager.
Oh, Pujols is the manager.
And I both understand it and hate it deeply.
I wish you, like, if Ellie thinks he could play, let him play.
Yeah.
Like, I get it, honestly, for pitchers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, obviously the Reds should come first, and I'm sure they do. And Ellie's young enough; he'll probably get another crack. And well, actually, the Olympics are going to have baseball, but we don't know if major leaguers are allowed yet. I don't believe they will be. But the next World Baseball Classic, the Olympics in LA, because the host countries get to add sports.
And America said, "Put our pastime in."
Yeah, well, that Japan wins. The U.S. is the heavy favorite for the World Baseball Classic, and as it gets closer, I definitely want to talk more about it. Just looking at the time now.
But yeah, that does suck because I love watching the World Baseball Classic and seeing players with their like actual country and hanging out. Like Javi Baez is one of my favorite guys with the Cubs, and I loved watching him play.
Oh, that Dominican team with Robinson Cano at second base, and Francisco Lindor is the captain for Puerto Rico.
So
but I mean, Team USA is like stacking the roster this year. They're like, oh no,
because usually
done.
it's Mike Trout was there. Like
David Wright was Captain America. Never forget.
Yeah. Yeah, we would never forget. But it's always people, but it's not all of the people. And a lot of
in other countries they are, though, just not the U.S.
Yeah. No, the U.S.
Like Shohei shows out for Japan, Yamamoto.
Because the World Baseball Classic last time ended on Shohei versus Mike
Trout, which was electric, and Shohei struck out Mike Trout. For Team USA, I mean, it's Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt Jr., like, it's all the dudes. Paul Skeens, like... Tarek Skubal, like it's, or Skubal might have had it back. I forget. Whatever. We'll talk more about it as that gets closer. We'll talk about the Manfred split season thing that happened this week. I don't know if you saw that, but
Yeah,
Rob
and
Manfred was like, "Oh, we should split the season up." We'll talk about that
I
because we're running
also
short
saw
on time.
Manfred saying that he was going to leave at the end of his contract, which was huge for baseball fans.
We'll talk about it next week. Cincy, due to the news, we haven't talked some footy. Let's talk it. FC Cincinnati gets back to training in Cincinnati, and Kyle
Today, right?
today.
Yeah.
Kyle Smith, LaSalle grad, signs with FC Cincinnati. So now the potential for their back line is just a couple Cincy kids, Nick Haglund and Kyle Smith.
That's so fun.
That is fun.
Especially for soccer. That's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go Kyle Smith. Talk about a more generic name, though.
Yeah.
But he sounds like he went to LaSalle.
Just generic white guy name. Yeah. What's up, Kyle Smith?
Yeah, congrats. All right, FC Cincinnati season, which is going to be like weird this year with the World Cup break and then condensed next year and then they flip the season.
Yeah.
We got time for all that. We got nothing but time. Thanks for your time. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
Like, subscribe, rate, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, all the things. Interact with us on socials. We appreciate you. Thanks so much. Relax. It's just sports.